10 minutes a day, keep poverty away. Welcome to the Finance Show. All right, let's get right into it. The market today, it's telling a really fascinating story. It's full of these conflicting signals, right? We're seeing some real strength in certain places, but then some serious stress in others. It's really creating what you could call an economy of contrasts.
So, what are the big stories you absolutely need to know about right now? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We're going to dig into everything from the massive earnings reports coming out of the big banks, all the way to this really interesting split we're seeing in how all of us are spending our money.
So here's what's on the docket. We've got JP Morgan. Their profits are up, but they're running into some political drama. Then we'll talk Boeing and Delta. They're just soaring high right now. After that, we'll dive into that consumer split I mentioned. Think Aldi versus luxury travel. And to wrap it up, we're going to look at where the smart money is going for the future.
Okay, first up, let's take the pulse of the economy's engine, and that means the big banks. We are kicking things off with an absolute giant, JP Morgan Chase.
And wow, the results are in. JP Morgan just dropped earnings that blew past what everyone was expecting. This gives us a really strong signal about the health of both regular folks and big corporations. And get this, their trading revenue was way stronger than anyone saw coming. But it's not all smooth sailing. Those huge profits, they're heading straight into some potential political headwinds. There's this proposal floating around for a 10% cap on credit card interest rates. And, well, the banking industry is sounding the alarm, saying it could lead to fewer credit cards for Americans and really put the brakes on the economy. This is a huge story to keep your eyes on.
As JP Morgan is juggling all of this, there's another massive question mark hanging over the bank. The CEO, Jamie Dimon, just hit his 20-year anniversary. The guy is an absolute icon. And while people on the inside say he is just as hands-on as ever, the question on everyone's mind is, what happens next? And hey, it's not just JP Morgan that's showing some real strength. Take a look at BNY Mellon. They're also raising their profit targets. Their CEO is even using the word turnaround, saying it's really starting to take hold. That's a great sign of optimism spreading across the whole financial sector. Okay, let's switch gears. We're moving from Wall Street to the factory floor and up into the skies. It's time to check in on how some of America's other corporate giants are doing.
Let's talk about Boeing for a second. Talk about a comeback story. This number says it all. 600. That's how many jetliners they delivered last year. And here's the kicker. They actually outsold their biggest rival, Airbus, for the first time since 2018. That is huge.
So who's flying on all these new planes? Well, we are. Delta Airlines is saying they can practically taste record earnings, and it's all thanks to this incredible, powerful demand for high-end travel. And it's coming from everywhere, both regular vacationers and business travelers. So all that strength we're seeing with companies like Delta, it's all being fueled by us, the consumer. But here's where it gets really interesting. If you zoom in a little closer, you'll see that shoppers are telling two totally different stories right now. And this lays it out perfectly. It's the great consumer divide. On one side, you've got the value hunters, right? They're flocking to places like the discount grocer Aldi, which, by the way, is planning to open over 180 new stores this year. But on the complete other side, you have the premium travelers, fueling that insane growth we just talked about at Delta. It is absolutely a tale of two budgets out there. Okay, so with this kind of split picture of what's happening right now, it makes you wonder, right? Where are the smart companies putting their money for the future? Let's take a look at where those big bets are being placed. Well, one huge answer is data centers, the physical backbone of our entire digital world. The CEO of a company called Digital Realty basically said, "We don't have too many of these," which is a nice way of saying demand is off the charts. They literally can't build them fast enough to keep up. So who's behind this boom? It's the big dogs, the hyperscalers. We're talking Amazon, Google, Meta, NVIDIA, all the giants. They are the ones fueling this massive expansion, building out the guts, the infrastructure for all the AI and cloud computing that's coming our way. And here's another really interesting future-facing move for you. Take a look at Fanatics. You know them, the giant in sports merchandise. Well, they're making a massive play. They're jumping into the content game, launching their own media studio to make movies and documentaries. It's a clear bet that in the future, content is everything. All right, we've covered a ton of ground today, haven't we? We've gone from banks to Boeing to bargain groceries. So let's boil it all down. What's the one big takeaway you need from all of today's market moves? Here it is.
The key theme is this. Corporate strength is really clear. I mean, the big companies are putting up some seriously strong numbers. But the real story, the one you really need to be watching, is the split path of the American consumer.
And that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. As we look toward the rest of the year, which one of these powerful consumer trends is going to win out? Is it going to be the relentless hunt for a good deal, or that powerful demand for premium high-end experiences? Which one is going to define our economy? Now that is the billion-dollar question.